Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and this is Fast 5 Knife Reviews, and we're starting it off with the SHIELDON BULBASAUR, which has a mirror-polished 14C28N blade. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It is very, very reflective, very fingerprinty, and I'm not sure if this is the right application for it. Now, while it might look good, a lot of times, it's very fingerprinty. It can scratch real easily, and I'm just not sure this was the best application for it. However, because it's so smooth and so slick, and it's a full flat grind with good geometry, it cuts very well. It passes through materials nicely. The handle is a G10, a multi-layered or colored G10 on steel liners. So the lock bar is a steel liner lock, and it's very comfortable in the hand. So you have a lot of leverage through cuts nice and comfortably. The pinch grips are really nice. The blade shape works great for utility cuts, slicing, or push cuts. Even like in a reverse grip for cutting straps, it's going to work great. But there are a bunch of details that I'm just not a big fan about this. One, being the mirror polish. It's so fingerprinty to me that I just, it's more of an annoyance to me. And I love 14C28N blade steel. I just, it's a very affordable budget knife. I'm just, not sure that this would have been the best application for it. It's something you more likely see on more premium knives. Now, if you like a mirror polish and you want to try a mirror polish, then hey, here you go. I mean, nothing wrong with that. And like I said, it can be very, very slicey. Now, the liner lock is very easy to access. It's very smooth on its ceramic caged bearings, especially being on top of a polish. So super, super smooth. Detent, very well tuned. The flipper tab is nice and comfortable. In my opinion, it likes a light switch the best. You can push button it, but the light switch seems like that's what it likes the best. Nice sound to it. I really like the sound. Now the clip, I wish it was centered in the handle, and I think it looks a little too budget for the knife. If you're going to make a knife look a little bit more premium, then you should have put a more premium clip on there. The clip works fine, and it gives you, something to grab onto when you're pulling it in and out of the pocket. But I wish it was centered, and I'm not a big fan of the clip. I think it just looks very cheap. Same thing with the pivot collar. It's not titanium, and I think that having pivot collars that look like this, that are, colored like this, it tends to look more gas station-y, while if it was titanium, it would be different, but this is definitely not titanium, so it just makes it look a little bit more cheaper. So, and that's what I kind of see here. It seems more gas station-y than premium. It seems like they're trying to make a gas station knife look premium, in my opinion. But very useful, good quality steel. So, there's a lot of great qualities to it. Next. Oh, by the way, really quick, guys, if you guys didn't enter my big giveaway, I'm pulling the winners tonight. If you're watching this the day I posted it, tonight I am pulling the winners to the giveaway. So good luck to everybody. And if you didn't even know about my giveaway, well, you should have the bell hit. So one, you see when I do my lives, because I do lives twice a week. The giveaways, we even do giveaways during lives. Actually, the upcoming live on Wednesday, we're going to do some giveaways during that one. But we have a giveaway going on right now with some high-end knives. It's the 100,000 follower giveaway, so it's pretty large. But yeah, good luck to everybody. Now, the next one is a CIVIVI. Now, I always say it, CIVIVI is one of my most recommended knives to most people. When people ask me, hey, what knife do you recommend? A lot of times it's a CIVIVI. And there's a few reasons for that. One, they do a good quality heat treat on their steel. Their steel is very well done. I almost never run into CIVIVIs with a poor heat treat. So that's one thing. So I know the steel is done well. Next is their geometry, their cutting geometry. They're made to cut. They're made to be used, and I love that. I love that they have such good cutting performances. And so the heat treat, they take really good edges. The geometry is made to cut, so they work very well. And the fit, the finish, and the detents are always really good for the money. So this one is no exception. No exception. We have a G10 scales on top of steel liners with a deep carry reversible clip. So it's good for right-handed or left-handed people. Now in this case we have D2, which is almost a stainless steel, but not quite. But it's it can, with a good heat treat, hold a really good edge. Now there are some poor qualities about D2 when it's not heat treated good, but as long as it's heat treated good, it's a great steel. Just a lot of companies aren't heat treating it very well. CIVIVI's doing a good job with it, so no problem with that. It's super thin behind the edge. I mean, this is a hollow ground clip point blade that gets so thin. So as you sharpen it, it's not going to get thicker behind the edge, at least for a long time. And it's going to help with cutting performance. And sharpening it, it's going to go really fast. Nice big sharpening choil, and the plunge grind is way out of the way, so you can choke up really nicely. Access to the lock bar is decent. I do wish it was a little grippier. It seems a little slick, but it works. It works. The detent, very well tuned. Very smooth on the ceramic caged bearings in the pivot and the ceramic detent ball. You do have the hole for the reverse flick. Or the thumb flick, I guess. The reverse flick is easier, but you can thumb flick it. The flipper tab has nice jimping on it, and like I said, the detent is very well tuned. As soon as you break the detent, it does fly open, and when you unlock it, you run into the detent ball right there, nice and early, so it's easy to get past and very smooth on the drop. Fit and finish is fantastic. Nice T8 hardware all the way around, so the build is really nice. And these come in different options too. You can get this in copper scales, and which is going to make it very heavy, but they do have that. Next, we have the FERUM Forge Stinger. The Stinger. Now, this is also done, just so you guys know, by the same company that does these, but they're premium company. So there's We Knives, then CIVIVI, and then Sencut, and it just basically goes down the line. We is the company, their budget knives are CIVIVI, and then their budget, very, very budget knives are Sencut. This is technically made by We. Now, it's not a We knife, but the We company is the one who builds it for FERUM Forge, which is a custom knife maker from the U.S. And I love their knives. I love their designs. This one is, I love it. The action and detent is super solid. Now, these are going to be more premium materials as far as the handle goes, but the blade is Nitro V steel. A mid-grade steel. I personally like it a lot. It reminds me a lot of 14C28N. Great stainless, holds a good edge, takes a really good edge, strops back really good, especially when it's heat treated well. Now, the frame lock is titanium with a nice stone washing on it, and then we have a sandwich construction backspacer. So the backspacer is not a separate piece. It's part of the scales on each side. So you can see the line right there in the middle of it. And when I close it, you can see the blade is nice and centered, lined up with that line. Deep carry clip that is inset, and the clip works really, really good. Very nice in and out of the pocket. It has a nice hole or not hole, but a fuller for the reverse flick. And it has a nice snappy detent. At least on this example. So easy to reverse flick because this aperture or fuller is nice and sharp, so you can thumb flick or reverse flick it. And then the detent for the flipper tab is really well tuned with some good jimping, nice grippy jimping, super snappy. Nice finger choil, plunge grind is out of the way, And it's a medium-sized knife, so it's not a large knife, it's not a small knife, and that's kind of the beauty of it. It's a nice happy medium knife, great blade shape, nice and lightweight, slim in the pocket, and it's just going to be a great little user. The lock bar access, it doesn't give you a lot of lock bar access, but because of the stonewash, it offers a little bit of traction. So it's relatively easy to disengage. I wish it was cut back a little bit further, but it's okay. We have a steel lock bar insert, detent, ceramic detent ball, and we have ceramic caged bearings in the pivot. No milling on the inside of this one, so it is just solid scales. Let's get to the next one. Next, we have a Poltergeist design, BESTECH. We have S35 VN blade steel, which is a premium blade steel, American-made blade steel. Then we have a titanium frame lock with it's almost like having two pivots. You can see how big this hardware is right here. And then they're also for the pivot. Ceramic caged bearings in the pivot. Nice large bearings too to go around this. Then we have a ceramic detent ball with a steel lock bar insert so that it's steel on steel lockup so that the blade is not locking up on top of titanium. It is a flipper, and the flipper is nice and comfortable. It kind of hooks its way up. So you can use the pokey end of it to push button it, but it's very easy to just light switch it. Beautiful Wharncliffe blade. Nice straight edge right here. This is a beast for utility cuts, and you can slice with it and break things down if you need to, but the primary thing this thing is great at is just utility cuts. But it can do everything else as well. But great utility cutter. I love the swedge and the dual satin finish, or triple satin finish. We have a satin going this way on the flats, and then we have another satin going up and down, and then you have a separate satin on the spine. You also have jimping on the spine to kind of lock you in. It's more of a 3-finger knife. Kara really likes this thing, so wound up picking it up from the knife sale that we were doing. Great access to the lock bar. Not false shutty or anything, but it's very smooth since it is on bearings. And you can slap it shut. Poltergeist designs are really awesome. Titanium clip. Let's get to the next one. Now, the last knife is the TWOSUN TS215. The TWOSUN TS215. Really quick, let's talk about TWOSUN very quickly, because I know we have a lot of new subscribers. So TWOSUN makes premium knives for a very affordable price. In a lot of cases, they cut out the middleman to bring it to you for a lot better price. Now, they'll bring you premium materials like titanium, carbon fiber, M390, sometimes even other steels. They do a lot of 14C, 28N, and then also D2. And then other steels too. But they're usually a lot more affordable than other knives that you will find with the same materials. So, it makes it to where you can get really premium quality for a more affordable price. Now, the thing is that some of them are just okay. Some of them are, even though they're very well done, they're just, the designers maybe aren't the best knife designers, or maybe they're just not really big knife guys. And then they have some that are so good, it would surprise the heck out of you. Like, it's like, holy cow, this is great. And you can't understand how, it came to such an affordable price. Then, like I said, they make so many knives that, of course, some of them are going to be misses, but a lot of them are hits. But they have hundreds of designs out there. Now, this one is in 14C 28N, flat ground, drop point blade with a satin finish. Great access to the titanium frame lock. So when you unlock it, it's very easy to disengage. Detent is a little late, but it has a ramp, so you don't get hung up right there. You can technically swing past it, but I like to go past either way. And since it doesn't have a regular flipper tab, it's very easy to get past. It has the hole deployment and the top flipper. both work great. I do prefer different jimping on my front flippers, but this one works very good. Has a nice sound to it. The hole also works pretty good. It works well. It works very well. Even for the thumb flick, it works great. Super comfortable in the hand, even though I can feel this clip, which also works good. The clip is great in and out of the pocket. And it also has T8 hardware all the way around, except for this little screw for this inlay and the lock bar insert, because it does have a steel lock bar insert and an over travel stop, so you're not going to unspring the lock. Beautiful carbon fiber inlays that are extremely well done. Lots of micro milling on the titanium. All these little chamfers. Like, details like this on other knives can be very, very expensive. Ceramic caged bearings that are on a steel washer, so the ceramic caged bearings have something to roll on, kind of like a racetrack, which makes this very, very smooth. And like I said, in the hand, it is very comfortable the way they have basically the finger placements. In my hand, it works really good. Nothing's poking me or anything like that. One of my fingers does land on this, but it doesn't bother me at all. I do wish the plunge grind was farther away from the edge. That's one of my biggest complaints on this, or they would have just did a better plunge grind, better choil. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal. And you can easily use this left-handed because this blocks the lock bar from you locking yourself out. So this is a great left-handed TWOSUN without having a reversible clip. And I like how it has internal stop pins. You can see a little track inside there. That is for the stop pin, and it really helps with side-to-side strength. Now, the front flipper, like I said, I wish the jimping went all the way up to the top and around. I think that's so dumb to stop the jimping right there. That's a huge fail to me. Yes, I can do it very easily, but it would be even more easier and even better if the jimping went all the way up to the top of the flipper tab and around the top. I find it to be a little bit more slippery for me in the left hand, but I'm also not left-handed. And it is a Gilles Jerry design. I have a lot of his designs. He likes to make some extravagant designs, and then he also has some really good winner designs, in my opinion, that are great for use. And this happens to be one of those. Perfectly centered. Is it perfect? Yeah. In my vision, it's perfectly centered. It always looks a little off in the camera, but it's perfect. Titanium milled backspacer. But yeah. Great knife, and you can get this for a heck of a price, guys. A heck of a price. I'll try to link it down in the description for you guys. Some of these TWOSUNs, it's amazing, the prices. But like I said, they do have some that look really cool, but maybe aren't the best. Not that the quality's not there. It's just that, some things are just a miss, But the little details, even like, look at this. Look at this lock bar, the little chamfer around the edge of the lock bar to make that nice and tight, so there's not a huge gap there. That's awesome. When we look at this BESTECH, you can see how big that gap is. Look at how tight that one is. But there you guys go. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.